Well, it is March 4th, and we got the first boil of the season started up here with our maple sap evaporator. And it's the first time that my wife and I have boiled in 3 years. Last time was 2015, and here it is 2018. And we just had a lot going on the past couple of years. But it feels good to be back out here and getting her going again. Probably been going at it for about 3 hours now. Still have plenty of sap to get through, but this is what it looks like, and I'll give you a shot of this in a second. So this is the boiler, just an old oil tank. As you can see, the oil tank was cut in half, and so what used to be the bottom, you can see where the legs used to be on this side right there. It used to be the bottom, is now a little doorway, makeshift doorway. And I've got our 2 pans. I got my warming pot there, just a flour can that I keep full of sap. So that I add it to these 2 little cans with just a tiny pinhole in them, and then they slowly add warm sap to the pans as the pans boil off. And for wood, I just use old pallets. I collect pallets in the off season and just hack them up with a chainsaw as I go. And over here is my well or sap hopper, whatever you want to call it. And that's a 40 or 50 gallon Rubbermaid tote. Can't remember how much exactly, but I'm hoping that by the end of this boil we should have maybe a ½ gallon to 3 quarts. We'll see how it ends up. That's where we're at today, and as you can see, it is just a beautiful day. And Junior has come out to say hello. And that's it for now. We'll keep you posted as the boil continues, and we'll finish it on the stove inside. Probably show you a little bit of that as well. Well, the boil's still going strong. One thing that I wanted to mention before that I forgot to, is that over here in my well, you can see the sap has quite an amber tinge to it. It's just a tiny bit cloudy, but I mean, before I filled up my pans and started boiling, I smelled it. Didn't smell kind of funky at all, and I tasted it, and it tasted fine. And at the very least, I figured, well, I'll boil today, and if it turns out terrible, then oh well, such is life. But I also noticed that as soon as the sap heated up, and it's too late to tell in the pans because the sugar concentration has already really started, but as soon as that amber colored sap started heating up, that amber tinge completely disappeared. And I don't know how well you can see in there. I mean, it still looks a little bit amber-ish, but it's definitely fading as that warming pot heats up the sap. And I didn't know that before, so I think it turns amber after it's been frozen. I don't know if it's the red maples that do it, because I've noticed just around in my buckets that some trees do it more than others. But anyway, if you do come across that when you're boiling, and it hasn't spoiled yet, don't be afraid of that amber tinge. I don't think it really does anything to the sap. As long as it hasn't spoiled and it isn't super cloudy and stinky, I think you're going to be safe. So anyway, that's where we're at the moment. Well, you can tell you're getting close when the bubbles are foaming up like that. It almost looks like it could start to foam over. So we are just about there. I'm going to take another reading and I'm hoping that this is it, because it's already been about 3 hours. So, yeah, we'll check in a minute. So this is where we are at with the hydrometer test. If you look real close, I mean, we are just a little bit over the mark there for 60 Brix. So we're not quite at maple syrup, but I think at this point I'm going to call it good enough. And honestly, by the time I take the pot off the stove, I'm sure we are going to be spot on. But anyway, that's where we're at. And at the moment right now, I'm going to take my mason jars and I'm going to heat them up under some hot water. And then once those are nice and piping hot, I'm going to pour off what's in the pot here and put some new bands and lids on those and call it good. Store them in a nice, cool, dry space, maybe the basement, root cellar, and they'll keep for a heck of a long time. I was still using syrup from 2 years ago when I last boiled, or 3 years ago, whenever it was. You know, as long as they stay unopened in a cool, dry place, you'll be good to go. But that's it. Thanks for watching. Well, there it is, folks. We got just about a half gallon of finished maple syrup. Probably would have been closer to a complete half gallon had I not spilled about a quart of the unfinished syrup yesterday. Happened when I was pulling off one of the pans from the boiler, and as I was straining it through the cone, the filter, I realized that syrup was going everywhere because I still had the lid to the pot on top of the pot. And so I probably lost about a quart of the unfinished stuff, which probably would have leveled those both off. But such is life, and we still got a pretty good amount of syrup from yesterday's boil. And I think that makes about a gallon, maybe 5 quarts that I've boiled this year, which is plenty for my wife and I and Hank to enjoy throughout the next year. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope you guys get out there and enjoy the springtime.